Hi, I'm here with Claudio, and that was a great panel that we just witnessed right there. I just wanted to ask you what you're most excited for today.
Well, the economics panel was really well done, but I'm most excited for the rebuilding panel that's going on later this afternoon because it'll be very interesting to see how society will be rebuilt after the apocalypse.
Awesome, I'm excited for that too. So if we know we had the zombie apocalypse and we had to start from scratch for rebuilding purposes, what would you want to change about society?
Well, looking at society nowadays, there's a lot of sexism and racism involved, but I feel like an apocalypse will make everyone realize that we all go through the same stuff, we'll all be affected by the same things. So hopefully once society is rebuilt, there will be no racism, there will be no sexism, no discrimination towards any minorities, and we'll all be built on neutral grounds.
Thank you so much, and back to you.
We are now joined by conference organizer Dr. Lydia Miljan. Thank you, Dr. Miljan.
My pleasure.
My first question for you is, what were your motivations behind organizing such a conference?
Well, there are a couple. First off, I had been binge watching The Walking Dead, and I was really reluctant to the whole genre. I'm not really into zombies. I think it's kind of silly because how hard could it be to outrun a zombie is what I always thought. But when I watched Walking Dead, I went, oh, people are saying it's all about the characters, it's all about the relationships. And even that I didn't get. For me, it was like, oh my God, what happens if civilization collapses? What happens when there's this huge catastrophe? What do we do if we don't have rules, if we don't have institutions such as government or police? If all that breaks down, what happens to us? And so as a political scientist, I was thinking back to my old political theory stuff about Hobbes' state of nature, life is nasty, brutish, and short. But then I was also thinking about Adam Smith, who talked about, when you begin society, what is the most important thing? His was all about monetary issues, and he said basically the first thing you need is an army. And so in a sense, I wanted to have debates about, well, is a zombie apocalypse a Hobbesian state of nature, or is it a way for people to really think about what's the most important thing? So that was sort of what started it. But then I thought, you know what? We really need it to be interdisciplinary, because you don't just get stuff out of economics or political scientists. You need the biologist, right? If there is a catastrophic event with some sort of biological infection, we need to know how to diagnose it and how to survive it. But then we also need to know how to deal with food, right? It's all about scarcity. So Essex County is pretty good. We've got a lot of food in our backyard, but once you run out of the tomatoes and the peppers and the cucumbers, can you eat the weeds? Which weeds could you eat? Are you going to go after the squirrel, and how are you going to cook that squirrel? So all of these things matter in any type of natural disaster, and zombies is just a fun way to do it.
Thank you. What obstacles did you face in planning such a unique conference?
Not too many at the outset. I had a lot of people who were really interested. We have a fantastic organizing committee. We met often. We did a lot of fundraising. We got great support from the community. Lots of people gave us prizes for our gamification. And when we did a call for paper, we had lots of great people who put forward their abstracts and were interested in presenting their papers. So it's just a matter of just getting all those little details. The hardest part, I think, is just letting the day run smoothly and getting people to where they need to be.
Right. If there was one tip you could give to the world on surviving a zombie apocalypse, what would it be? After listening, I always thought this from watching The Walking Dead. My view of The Walking Dead is they're doing the apocalypse all wrong. They're spending way too much time fighting each other. But after our keynote last night, I really think cooperation. You've got to work out how you're going to order society and get busy planting gardens, building walls, getting a defense. It really, planning a zombie apocalypse conference is just like the real zombie apocalypse. You got to plan for it, and you got to have a lot of people working together. Right. Up next, we will have Dr. Stutsky with his keynote address. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.